trust is a security vulnerability. That is the fundamental truth I have learned in my 20 years in tech, and especially working as a remote consultant since 2010. I rely on a VPN for everything: my phone, my computers, trading, managing my servers. But I have always felt that if I am paying a company for a VPN, I am not buying privacy or anonymity. I am just paying rent. And in my experience, it's just like a physical apartment. If you are renting, the landlord always has a master key. For my professional work, I've never been comfortable trusting a company not to look inside my data or sell my logs. I decided a long time ago that I wouldn't build my digital life on rented land. To be truly sovereign and free, you have to own the infrastructure. I want a connection that I control, running open source code on a server where only I hold the keys. I used OpenVPN for many years, but I needed something simpler and more robust. I am going to share the setup I use right now to protect my consulting work and my personal. A private tunnel built with WireGuard and OpenBSD. It costs about the same as a cup of coffee, but my setup, it's faster, it's bulletproof, and most importantly, it's actually mine. In this video, I'm not going to drag you through a lengthy terminal session. I have put a step-by-step guide on my website. I will have the link on the description. I will walk you through the exact setup that I am using at, let's say, a little bit of high speed, and I will explain the decisions that really matter. So this is a self-hosted VPN on a VPS running OpenBSD and WireGuard. All of my devices actually connect to the server, so my ISP and any Wi-Fi that I may connect see only the encrypted traffic from WireGuard. The goal here is to have no VPN company in the middle. As I said, like no landlord keeping the master key. This is not like a magic anonymity box. This is about control and trust, and not about becoming something like being invisible. This would require a completely different setup. This costs me, as you will see, around €5 per month, actually the price of a coffee. And with this way, I move the trust to my own server, where I hold the keys and I can rebuild from scratch at any time. Now, why I choose OpenBSD? I choose actually basically because it's secure by default. It's also rock solid. It does not need too many resources. It has also a rock solid networking, and I really trust its code base and the people that actually maintain it. And regarding WireGuard, WireGuard is actually the modern solution. It is only around 4,000 lines of code compared to hundreds of thousands that OpenVPN has on its code base, and it also resides inside the kernel of both Linux and OpenBSD. And specifically for the very security focused developers of OpenBSD to accept WireGuard to be installed and included by default on the default installation, this is actually speaks by itself. So you do not need to install any extra packages except from one package, which is some scripts that help you with the configuration. Everything else is actually included out of the box, out of the default installation. So let's go. First, I'm going to create a VPS. I am using Hetzner. I have used Hetzner with OpenBSD multiple times and for a long time now, and this is why I actually use it here as well. So cost optimized ARM64 because it works perfectly. You do not need a very powerful VPS. So 2 virtual CPUs and 4 gigs of RAM actually are quite enough for, depending of course on your usage. I would say this is okay. So let's start with that. Okay, now we'll have to install OpenBSD because we will have also to enable disk encryption. I mount first the OpenBSD ISO image. We are going to run a default installation. And this is the most important part. You have to select the passphrase. Okay, installation is finished. We are going to unmount and reboot. Obviously, every time we reboot, we are going to need to come on this console and enter the passphrase to unlock the disk drive. The first thing that we need to do on an OpenBSD system is actually run the Syspatch command. This is going first to update itself if needed, okay? And secondly, it's going to apply all the patches on the system and update the kernel also if needed. Okay, so we need to reboot to load the new kernel. So let me switch now to the guide. I have everything described here in detail. We always put the passphrase on the SSH keys. This is the command that is going to generate the keys for WireGuard. WireGuard does not work with certificates, works only with keys. So everything is actually super simplified. No certificates, no user and passwords, nothing. Now what I'm going to do is also generate the client keys. Normally this needs to be done on your local machine, not on the server, obviously. Okay. And we are going to configure a new network interface that is going to be used for WireGuard. So here I have put this subnet for the VPN. If for any reason you are using this on your private network, you will have to change it. We'll have to place here the private key that we just created. Now On this video, I'm going to use as a client my iPhone to prove also to you that this does not work just on Linux. You can use it anywhere, and especially on your phone. Okay, and as you can see now, the interface is up and running. Public key, the IP that we set. Okay. Now we need to configure now the firewall. The PF firewall is super powerful, but I'm going to use a very simple configuration, but that it actually works. What we do here is that we allow the subnet of the VPN to actually talk to the outside world, to the internet. We allow SSH coming in, and of course the traffic from WireGuard on the default port, which is this one. And we verify. Okay. Now we need to turn the server into a router. This command. I'm gonna make it permanent. Okay. And now we are going to create on the local machine the config. The IP, the private key of the client. We also are going to use Quad9's DNS and not Google's for obvious reasons. This is gonna be the IP of the server. Now here it means that we are going to route all traffic through the VPN. Now we come to the interesting part about how to set up everything on the iPhone. Now the main difference with OpenVPN, because I have used it also on my iPhone, and actually I had to stop using it because the lag was incredibly high. I had disconnects and it was not working properly. Plus, in order to configure it, it was not really easy. But with WireGuard, Everything is really simple. And what we need to do is actually create a QR code of our config. So this file, I'm gonna go full screen here. So this is the QR code. Obviously, this means that you have already downloaded the application from the App Store. It's free and available there, so you can trust it. It comes from the same developers that built WireGuard. Let me run a speed test. So let's switch to connection type single. So a single connection. Let's find a server in Germany. Okay, so this is a direct connection from Thailand to this server in Germany. 27 megabps upload, download, sorry. 27 megabps download, 21 upload. Let's add, you see here I have already my configuration for my server, but as we build a new one, we are going to click here on the plus button. We are going to select create from QR code, and I'm just going to scan via the camera the QR code. You see already happened, already read the QR code. IT test, save, and that's it. So if I go here, all the settings are already imported. Super easy. Let's connect. Okay, we are also super fast. You see, everything is really happening super fast. And let's test again. You can see also that it comes from Hetzner. And this is what we got. So as you could see, everything is super simple, easy to set up, and the security is way better than other solutions like OpenVPN, because with OpenVPN you get a lot of choices about the encryption that you can use and stuff. With WireGuard, the choices have been done by the developer. You cannot change anything regarding the algorithms, and in other cases, I would say this is not good because you need to have a choice. But here we have the people from WireGuard that they really experience with what they're doing, plus the people from OpenBSD that they endorse them by having WireGuard inside the default installation of OpenBSD. If these people say this is okay, I say it's okay too. Now, on another thing, of course, if you just want a VPN, for example, to watch Netflix, in another country or something, I believe this is an overkill. So better use just a generic VPN only for that. It will give you a lot of locations, and you gain almost nothing by using my solution. But on the other hand, if you care about control, about logs, about knowing exactly what is going on your infrastructure and where your traffic goes and where it comes from, then self-hosting makes perfect sense. Also, you need to understand now your server is actually like an exposed asset on the internet. It's your responsibility to keep it updated so you do not run into trouble. Again, everything I just showed is documented step by step with copy-paste commands in this guide. The link is below, and if for any reason you want a deeper dive into OpenBSD firewall rules, troubleshooting, WireGuard, or advanced setups, tell me in the comments and I can do dedicated videos for those. I hope you found this video useful. If so, give it a like, and I will see you on the next one.